Hey guys, I finally got off my ass and made some proper brakes for my go-kart. Yep, I know, amazing, right? Anyway, it took in total about a full day, probably about 11 hours, 10 hours, something like that, but that's working pretty slow, just cruising around sort of thing. Um, Now, I know what you're thinking, why the hell did he put the brake on the right-hand side? Now, it was pretty much the easiest way I could do it was to put it on the right-hand side. I know it's going to be weird, it's going to be awkward the first couple of times riding it, but, I mean, once you start accelerating with your left foot, you're just going to brake with your right anyway, so, yeah. It doesn't really matter. But I got proper go-kart pedals on there now. I got these from Carl Man, so thanks again for those, man. I finally used them. So for the brake, basically what I did was got two nuts and welded them together. And then I ran a piece of thread through, put a washer, a pedal, another washer, and then a lock nut. This nut I just welded on there for the return spring, but that doesn't really do anything anyway. It does on the throttle. Yeah. Anyway, then I got a piece of flat stock and welded some 5mm bar to it. 5mm rod, sorry. Ran the rod down here. Then I made a little linkage arm here and bent it. And at first I had them bent, and then they were sticking out. But then my dad said, "That's really bad. You should have the little bends as closest to the linkage as you can, otherwise it's gonna bend." Sort of thing. So I made them as close as I could, and then I just put a lock nut on either side and tapped it, threaded it. So I just threaded this 5mm with a die, and then yeah, I did the same on this side, and then rad the rod down, piece of flat stock again with the rod welded to it, and then just put it onto the linkage. And then here is just a piece of sheet metal that this caliper bolts onto, and then it's just welded to the frame. That's not a burn hole, by the way. That was a drilled hole from my original brake setup. I gotta grind this off, like cut it off and then grind it back. But you know, another day. So it looks a lot better when it's there, and it gets a lot more contact because before the pads were only like half contacting. So now the full thing is contacting. Can't see it, but yeah. And before, the disc was rubbing against this disc, not the other one. It's supposed to rub against this one, so now it is. So now it runs smoothly, and then when I brake, that disc comes over and squishes the disc. So yeah, it works really good. I also just put a return spring here. I didn't want to put a return spring there because then it's just got too much stuff going on in that linkage. It's just easier to put it here, so I just drilled a hole there. You can see I did a dummy one to start off with and didn't turn out too well, and then I drilled a hole in there, and that returns really nicely. So I'll give you a demo. So I'll just show you. So you can see that return. I'll just push it with my hand. You can see how that return spring works. So when you push the pedal, it pulls this rod here, which pulls that linkage arm, which then pushes that rod and pushes that arm there. Now at first when I did this, I thought these rods would be too weak, but it actually turns out that this one doesn't bend at all. It's actually really strong. So I'm quite amazed with that. I was going to reinforce it, like get another rod and weld it next to it, and the same for this one, but yeah, it doesn't need it. So I'll just lay the camera down somewhere, and then I'll press the brake, and then try to push the cart, and I'll show you how good the brakes are. So I'll just set it up. Alrighty. I'm going to press the brake really hard. And you can see, hopefully, that back wheel locks right up. So, yeah, it totally locks up. That's great. Yeah. Alrighty, now for the throttle. Now the throttle is the exact same as the brake. I had to pack this as well because it just wouldn't want to stick. So yeah, it looks like shit, but it's super strong. Like, yeah, it's strong. Anyway, so that slips on there. Then there's that's an M8 thread and an two M8 bolts welded together. One welds on there. The reason why I have to have two there is to raise it up a little bit. Otherwise, this thing will just sit on the frame. So, piece of M8 thread, and then a washer, the pedal, a washer, and then an M8 lock nut. Then the return spring is the same as the other one, just a M8 bolt welded onto there. Then the throttle just comes through the same hole as the spring. I was going to put up there, but it just doesn't work as well. It's really tight when you push the pedal. So then it just goes through an electrical connector, double connector, because if you use a single one it can slip sometimes, so I reckon double one's the best. These things do work really well. Like, if you crimp it, I've never had one come loose, so yeah, if anyone's just starting to make a go-kart, use one of those, seriously, it works perfectly. So anyway, that goes down here, and then I need to cut those off, by the way. There's zip ties. Just zip tied the outer shielding, which you just get from a bicycle, and then another one there, another one there. Then the cable runs under the frame to another shielding, which is again zip tied, which runs up there, which is then crimped in this little thing, and then the return spring is also on that, and then it runs to the throttle. So then, give you a demo. When I push this, yeah, it pushes that. So yeah, that's the throttle. If I had the brake on the left hand side, because I know I'm going to get tons of comments on this, people telling me, no, you could have put it on the left hand side, this is how you do it. I know how to do it, but okay, I'll just show you how to do it anyway. The main reason why I didn't want to is I'd have to weld the pedal onto this, and I don't want to weld the pedals. I couldn't put two bolts on either side and fix it to this, because if those bolts come loose, then I'm fucked. So I know, like, bolts, you can tighten them pretty tight, but I just don't want to risk it. So what I could have done, if I wanted to put a brake on this side instead, like, drill a hole through either side, run this through, mount the pedals onto here, weld that pedal onto there, and this one just have it free hanging. And then on here, weld a bar, like flat stock, and then have a hole, and then just have this linkage in there that runs all the way back there. That's how I could have done it. So when you move the pedal, it moves that linkage, which then pulls that. Or I would have had it on the bottom, so it pushes it. But yeah, that's how I could have done it. I know it's really easy that way, but I just don't want to weld the pedal onto the. I just don't want to weld the pedal because, yeah, they're nice go-kart pedals. I might do that later on, but for now, I'm just going to leave it like how it is. If it's really shit how it is, then I will weld it and do it that way. But, or if I like, if I get really annoyed having the brake on the right hand side, but I reckon it'll be okay. So it just really cleans my go-kart up having no handle there. It makes it look more like a go-kart. I just got to paint it now and, like I said, grind that thing off. But I like the caliper there. It looks really nice. Just makes it really hidden. You can't even see it. Anyway, that's about it. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.